Simple question. What are your basic requirements from an electric bike? Now, each bike might have different motors and batteries. They all offer amazing performance of an electric motor and range from the battery. But if you notice, along with the performance and range, every electric bike offers something very unique that adds value to their customers and that helps the bike stand out. For example, the 450X Ather and S1 Pro Ola, they offer amazing performance but adds value with the dashboard navigation and software. Chetak adds value with a comfortable and easy to ride EV. Now, what value does TVS Iqube add? Spoiler alert, the exciting part of the video starts at. TVS Iqube comes with really simplistic design. It looks a bit broader from the front and back. It has this very unique headlamp design that does a really good job for a city. And the build quality of this bike is really good. With a curb weight of close to 118 kilos, you would get a confident ride. The colors are also very subtle, not too bright. This bike comes in 4 different colors: mint blue, copper brown, grey and lucid yellow. With this very simple design and subtle color, it's very easy that this bike would go under the radar in traffic without you noticing it too much. Talking about the comfort that you get on this bike is really good. Seats are really comfy and cushy. Combined with the good suspension, you would love riding this bike on city roads. With no noise and vibration, comfortable solid foot pegs, as a pillion rider, you would have a really pleasant ride on this. And for a rider, TVS Iqube would give immense fun riding, sitting comfortably with a spacious legroom and comfy seats. Once you give a full accelerator, the power you get and the feel that you get from it is really satisfying. It is so smooth in acceleration, yet you would feel that you are in control of the bike. Combined with this really good braking, you would have a really fun, confident ride anytime. Side mirrors are also pretty broad and feels very solid. Under these cushy seats comes this decent boot. Space is not too much, but you can comfortably fit one half-sized helmet into this boot. And if you are someone who carries portable charger along with your bike, the portable charger will take close to half of the boot space. But ideally, when you are riding inside the city, you might not need to carry a charger in your boot, so that should be fine. And you would also get a very spacious legroom to carry extra luggage, so the problem of having a smaller boot space won't be a problem. And you get a hanger here in the front legroom, which should help you. And here comes the charging port for the bike, which is properly sealed from very bad weather. So these are pretty usual stuff, but things get really simple and interesting from here. You see, the bike comes with this solid and simple dashboard. You have information about battery and range left, driving modes, speedometer and the odometer. And this dashboard is not a touch screen. You can control this dashboard with this joystick, and the functionality is so simple. You can toggle this up, down, left and right. If you want to click, you can simply press this toggle. Simple. And you can use these toggle features on your dashboard to control the dashboard brightness, the indicator sounds. You can access your documents on this dashboard. Once you connect your mobile to this dashboard through Bluetooth, you can see the mobile notifications on your dashboard. Be it any notification that you receive on your smartphone, you can see it here. That's so cool, isn't it? Along with that, you can set navigation on your Iqube smartphone app, and a simplified version of navigation can be seen on your dashboard. I mean, it won't show the maps like it shows on Ather or Ola, but it simplifies completely and shows in terms of arrow marks. It shows, right arrow mark with 200 meters, take a left at 500 meters, simple stuff like that. What I pretty much liked about this dashboard is that it comes with this plastic frame in front, which protects the dashboard from dust and bad weather. In fact, this helps for a better sunlight readability as well. This has been a really big problem for me with my own EV, Ather 450X. I wish my bike had something like this. Now, the handle of Iqube has very simple and familiar stuff. To the left, you have one for horn, indicator and headlamp, and you get this toggle in a really sweet spot to use. And over here, you can find a knob that will help you while riding slopes. It's as simple as auto hold on Ather. To the right, you have one switch for power, reverse mode and hazard lights. Very simple stuff. Now, this bike comes in 2 driving modes, Eco mode and the power mode. In the Eco mode, you can drive at a maximum speed of 45 kmph and you can get a range of 100 km. And in power mode, you can drive at a maximum speed of 78 kmph and you can get a range of 75 km. Now, if you are a city rider, Eco mode should be sufficient for your city usage. This Eco mode makes life simple. It gives a range of 100 km for a 100% charge, which equals to 1 km for 1% of charge, which is extremely simple to get an understanding of the range left on your bike. For example, from my experience of having a second generation of 450X Ather, which gives a range of 85 km for 100% of charge. If you want to understand if you are driving rash than usual, if you are squeezing more range than usual, or if you are draining your battery faster than usual, after a point you won't get an understanding because the ratio is not equal. You have to end up looking at the dashboard constantly, or you have to do the calculation by yourself. But with this bike, it's extremely simple. You have to just check if you are getting a kilometer for 1% of charge. Simplifying your life, this bike comes with regenerative braking, which means every time you leave the throttle, the bike regenerates itself and adds charge to your battery. It is a pretty cool feature and interesting feature because it adds a very good range for your bike every time you release the throttle. But the problem is that regeneration on TVS Iqube is a bit stronger. Every time you leave the throttle, the bike it decelerates faster and regeneration happens strongly. It can be a bit of problem to getting used to this for the first few days, but once you get used to this, you would love this feature because you get extra range every time you brake or you release the throttle. But apart from this, what's important is that the regeneration happens by itself. For example, for the 450X Ather, you have to manually squeeze the throttle to regenerate, and yet you won't get any indication on the dashboard that you have regenerated. For Ola S1 Pro, you would have 3 types of regeneration, and that would take some understanding for you to try out. But for TVS Iqube, it's default, it happens by itself, and there is no need to think of anything, it takes care of itself. It's that simple. If you own a TVS Iqube, your regular life would probably look like this. You unlock your bike with this solidly built key and you turn the motor on simply with this power button and set navigation on your phone app and start riding. The ergonomics of the bike are also so good that you would simply love riding this bike. Should you be range conscious and be calculative about the distance that you want to travel on your bike every single day? No, it's because even that is simplified for you. Now with TVS Iqube, you can geofence your bike. You can set a certain radius on your Iqube app, and if you cross that boundary, you would get a notification on your app, and you can use this feature to be sure that you will never run out of charge. You can simply put a geofence radius of around 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers inside the city, including the locations that you frequently travel, and inside that radius, every time you ride, you can be so sure that you can never run out of charge, and even if you do, you can be sure that you can reach to your nearest charging point to charge your bike. Now, in spite of that, you might need to be range conscious because TVS Iqube has no fast charger in the city. You have to depend on your portable charger, which will take 4 to 5 hours to completely charge your bike. Which means even if you have to charge for a quick 20-30 kilometers, you would need to charge for at least 45 minutes to 1 hour with the portable charger, which will take a lot of time. So now going back to the question that we started. What value does TVS Iqube add? Is it the dashboard? No. Simply because there are other EVs which have mastered this. Ather and Ola, for example, they have the best bike dashboards. And is it the comfortable ride like Chetak? No, because you still would need the key for every single thing. It is not like Chetak where you can place a key fob in your pocket and you can unlock your bike, you can take out your boot space and everything. For Iqube, you would need to take the key for everything. You see, the TVS Iqube keeps things really simple, and it is this simplicity of use is the value that it adds. And you would feel it once you start riding the bike. For you to ride this bike, the only learning curve that is required is to understand that this bike has absolutely no noise. Apart from that, the rest of the features are extremely familiar and you would get very easily used to. But this is a two-handed sword. It has its own advantages, benefits, and it gives its own problems. Starting with the benefits, the first thing is that you don't need to be tech savvy to understand what's going on the dashboard. Second thing is that the range estimation and calculation is very easy. You will get a kilometer of range for 1% of charge, which means you don't need to look at your dashboard constantly to check if your driving pattern is fine. And on top of that, you can geofence your bike to make sure that you don't run out of charge on road. Third point is that there is not too much dependency on the software or the app. And the fourth point is that you can access the dashboard very simply with this joystick that's present on your handle. This solves the problem of touchscreen sensitivity issues every time it rains or during a bad weather. Final point is that the regeneration happens by itself on this bike, and there is no need for you to regenerate manually like in Ather. It happens by itself. Very simple. This bike seems very ideal to purchase, right? Well, let's go to the problems now. First point is that the navigation on the dashboard is way too simplified. It only shows arrow marks on the dashboard. If you have to follow a straight road, take a right in 200 meters, take a left in 500 meters, just arrow marks and text. Practically speaking, This is rather complicated than to have a Google map on the dashboard. While driving, the best way to have navigation information is to just have an image. A blue line which says take right, a blue line which says take left, a blue line that shows straight road, rather than having arrow marks. Second point is that you are completely dependent on your home charger. I mean, there are no fast chargers and there are no public chargers for iQube. You are completely dependent on TVS Iqube home charger, which would take 4 to 5 hours to completely charge your bike. By any chance, if you are low on charge on road, you have to find these chargers like Bolt or Charger, plug in your bike, which will take a lot of time to charge your bike. Even if you want a range of 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers to go back to your home, you need to plug in for at least 40-45 minutes. And third point is this joystick or the toggle for the dashboard. I mean, it sounds very interesting and exciting at start, but just imagine if you want to reduce the sound of indicator lights, you'd have to spend a good 2 minutes navigating to this dashboard with the joystick. It might feel a bit interesting or exciting at start, but after a point I'm not sure this will be that exciting for you to do. It will rather get a bit more lagging and boring. Fourth point and important point is that this bike makes absolutely no noise and gives amazing performance with the help of this hub motor which is present in your back wheel. Yes, the motor is present on your back wheel, which means if you are supposed to change your tire or if your back wheel is punctured, it would take a lot of effort and lot of complicacy for you to simply fix a puncture or to change the tire because the motor is fixed to it. For daily use, this might not feel a problem, but that one day when your back tire gets punctured, you might feel that this is a complicated thing that you got into. Okay, see, don't get me wrong. You see, it's a very thin line being very simple and being very minimalistic. For a few features on iQube, the design is very simple and I love it. But there are few features which are kind of minimalistic and that could have been done better. And these won't even solve any problems and they won't add value to the bike as well. If you are thinking about this, should you buy this bike or not? In terms of performance and range, if your expectation from your EV is that you should have an amazing performance, a good control on the bike, and a range that you can trust and rely upon, and the bike which gives you the minimal range anxiety, and you are not a heavy user, and you charge your bike every night, overnight, and you can charge it comfortably in your parking, you can happily go for TVS Iqube and you would absolutely love the bike. Provided if you are not a tech savvy too, and if you are fine with the minimalistic dashboard navigation and the minimalistic dashboard features, you would absolutely love the bike. If you are a heavy rider who would drive more than 70-80 kilometers a day and who expects the contemporary features from an electric bike like fast charging, like dashboard navigation, a good graphical interface, probably you might get a bit disappointed with iQube. If you are focused only upon the fundamentals, what you expect from an EV, the range and performance, iQube is for you. Will I buy TVS Iqube for myself if I got a chance? Absolutely yes. For a simple reason that the EVs with fancy features, they are not reliable right now, like Ola S1 Pro, and the bike which have extremely reliable functionality have very poor dashboard or even no dashboard at all. Like Ather 450X, the bike is reliable, dashboard can be better. Chetak, the bike is absolutely fantastic and no dashboard. TVS Iqube is reliable, simple to use, dashboard is kind of minimalistic, it can be better. If you ask my choice, I would rather go for the reliable bike like TVS Iqube, and rather I would get a phone stand to connect my smartphone on the handle for the best navigation through Google Maps. What do you guys think? Please do let us know in the comments below.